Welcome everybody to Daytona International Speedway. My name is Josh Hall. This is Intensity Broadcasting's coverage of the original Rebels Outlaw Truck Series. This is the Duels tonight, setting the rows for next week's Daytona kickoff race. And I couldn't be happier to be here. Again, my name is Josh Hall with Intensity Broadcasting. Thanks for joining in tonight. Get ready for two exciting 35-lap races named after two fantastic people. Memorial races almost, if you will. The first duel we're going to have tonight will be the Ray Cobb 45 duel. And then the second race will be the Matthew Mann duel. And looking forward to some great racing tonight here at Daytona. The original Rebels always put on a great race every time we're here. And let's take a look at what's going to be our starting lineup tonight, as things are already kind of locked in and ready to go. These guys did have qualifying, I believe it was last night, to set themselves up. So Adam Lang is going to be locked in the first duel here. Phil Manzo's going to start on pole. Trevin Whitaker on the outside. We'll go through the full field here, but that's just letting you know past champions visual locks are Matt Geis, Ken Farmer, and Thomas Lee. And as you can see, there's just a few minutes left here in practice. About 2.5 minutes there. And then we're going to get this underway for 35 laps here at Daytona International Speedway. One of my favorite tracks. I love my super speedways. I kind of consider myself a bit of a super speedway expert. I wanted to run with these guys in the Super Speedway Kings League that they had for 4 weeks between the two seasons, but every time I tried to join, fortunately, it was already full right up. So, but this should be an awesome race for 35 laps. As you see, Colton Lanford at the top of the board with Eric Burkhalter, second fastest. Tracy Passons, Josh Anderson, Clint Risk, Jerry Kershaw, Charlie Gates, Aaron Mack, James Jones, and Trevin Whitner make up your top 10 fastest right here. But it's all about the race. Doesn't matter if you win practice here, although these guys are doing a good job kind of figuring out how their cars are going to draft, or their trucks are going to draft, how these things are going to handle behind other vehicles. As the draft is really important here at Daytona. 2 trucks are going to work better than 1. 3 trucks are going to work better than 2. 10 trucks are going to work better than 5. So we'll have to see how these guys handle the tricky Daytona. You know, you'd think it would be really easy to get around, but as we can see right here, the track is actually pretty narrow. And when you're 2 and 3 wide, around this track, it can get really hectic in a hurry. The track seems to really thin out, especially off of turn 4 right there as we come towards the tri-oval. We got about 15 seconds before we get rolling here in the first of the duels, the Ray Cobb duel. As we get ready to get rolling here. Again, the lineup has already been decided previously, so let's take a look at our starting grid. Starting on pole tonight's going to be the Hitman Manzo with Trevin Whitner on the outside. Harold Buds Barnes starting in third with Eric Burkhalter in that 4th spot. Jerry Kershaw and Jackson Qualley, 5th and 6th. You know, Jackson from our iOS series. And Clint Rist and Keith Durst will be 7th and 8th. Josh Anderson and Aaron Mack make up row number 5. Tracy Passons and Jonathan Schmiel round out row number 6. Row 7 is going to be James Jones and Colton Lanford. Then Rich Yeoman, Charlie Gates, and James Centoyo round out your field here at Daytona. A little track information for you here. 78 degrees, 67% humidity. It's going to be a warm one. These trucks are going to be cutting through that air. It's a bit humid here tonight at Daytona. We'll have to see how the draft really affects these guys tonight. As it looks like Jackson Qualley is actually going to be starting from pit lane. A couple shout outs on the social media here. Matt Geis says, kick it off right, boys. Josh Anderson says, go Team Kool-Aid Monster Motorsports. Jeff Paisley says, send it, boys. Ryan Huff says, racing in the second duel tonight. Adam Lang says, scouting out the competition. And Matt says, welcome, Jackson. Jackson's a great little young man here. Should be exciting to see him tonight with the original Rebels Outlaw series. Now, we are going to see 4 races tonight. First race is going to be, obviously, our first duel here tonight. Then you're going to see our second duel with the Outlaws. Then we're going to move over to the original Rebels, as they are each going to have their own duels as well tonight. So, a big night of racing here with 4 short little races here to set the rows for next week's Daytona race. As the pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Hitman's going to lead him down to the starting line with Tevin Whitner on the outside. Green flag is in the air. And we're racing here at Daytona in the duel. And Manzo gets a great jump off the line. Pulling Harold Barnes around with him here. Bud's going to latch right on that bumper and push Manzo. That 9 truck of Tevin Whitner. Not really getting a good jump, not really having any help, no real energy here as they come down the backstretch, and he's in trouble with no real push. Right now that bottom lane's really formed up well as they come down the backstretch for the first time, with the 83 of Barnes really giving Manzo a good push here into turn number 3. Oh, it looks like the 9 of Tevin Whitner up the track a little bit. I don't know if he got a little loose with a bump or what happened there. But that bottom lane is really the one that's prevailing right now. It's got all the energy as we cross the line to complete the first lap here at Daytona. And Manzo with a great lead going on right now with a great push from Barnes from behind. And you see that top lane just not working out the way that they wanted to. The field really getting single file. That top lane really spread out back there. As we take a look at this 9 car, just no real help on that high side right now as they snake on down the backstretch. These trucks do move around quite a bit as they come down the backstretch. And you see one truck coming up, trying to come up the middle a little bit. That's the 25 of Colton Lanford. Colton trying to make that high side work, using that little bit of a side draft here to move himself forward. And one truck by himself, he's actually having a good job, doing a good job right now. Moving up on that high side by himself, no real help. Looks like one truck's going to jump up in front of him. That's Clinton Reese. He's going to jump up there on the high side. Get a great push from Colton Lanford here. See if those 2 trucks can make anything happen as that bottom lane starting to spread out just a little bit. The first and second trucks really tight together. Oh, here comes the 99 of Jerry Kershaw hopping up to the high side in front of Clint Rist. And that's going to make that high side have a little bit of energy on there as they start moving forward. Here comes the first real challenge tonight as the 99 of Jerry Kershaw. Again, a great shove here from Clint, pushing him to the lead. They're going to clear Manzo. Are they just going to stay up there? Are they going to move down to the bottom? Here they go. No, they're going to stay up on the high side there with Colton Lanford. And the 3 of them, I believe, are going to clear Manzo right here. And they do. 3-car train there, pushing themselves to the front in front of Manzo. As we're working lap number 4 of 35, a short race. So these guys are trying to get everything they can early on in the race. We see the 71 of Eric Berthalter now starting to get a little run here with the 9 of Trevin Whitner. And you see that high side starting to make something happen. Oh, the 9 truck gets real loose there in front of the 79 of James Santoyo, and he's got to back out of it a little bit. That's really going to break up the energy on that high line that they were starting to get together. Right now, that low lane just seems to be the one right now, as nobody can really get anything working on that high side. Up front, Jerry Kershaw still leading right now with Clint Rist and Colton Lanford working that front train right now and doing a great job. Phil Manzo kind of back a little bit. Maybe trying to get a little bit of a run with Bud. Bud Barnes back there in the 85 trying to make something happen. It looks like they're just going to hang back right now. Again, for them, 35 laps. It's a bit of a long race. looks like Jackson Qualley did not get on track tonight, unfortunately. I don't see him on the track. Let's take a look at the track map here. And yeah, it looks like just the field out on the track right now. And now we're starting to see this field really single file all the way back. Yeah, they are. They've completely single file throughout the entire field. Just trying to log some laps right now. Again, 35 lap race. Really easy to go from first to last here. Oh, a couple cars starting to make some jumps out here as we see. Looks like the 55 of Charlie Gates up on that high side. See if anybody would go along with him. It looks like the 9 of Tevin Whitner starting to come to the high side here. A couple cars. Our pit road sensor just came. Oh, a spin! The 55 gets turned. That's going to bring up our first wreckage rewind of the night as we take a look to see exactly what happened here. It looked like Charlie Gates in the 55 may have got a little loose or got turned coming down the front stretch here through the tri-oval. See the 55. Now it looks like the 91 came up just a little bit. Got a little tight there in the tri-oval. Turned the 55 of Charlie Gates. Also gets the 79 of James Santoyo. 79 goes for a wild ride here. Up in the air. Almost over the top of the 31 of Aaron Mack. That's going to bring up our first caution of the night with Jerry Kershaw jumping up to the lead here. Well, it looks like everybody came in and pit. No, there was no pit. See Tevin Whitaker still on pit road right now. But right now our leader, Jerry Kershaw. With Clint Riss and Colton Lanford. Top three. Yeah, it was Jerry that was on the high side. I apologize. So much happening. New league, new faces, and new places. Trying to learn everybody's names and trucks, and it's always the first race of the night. In the Facebook, we have Stacy Adcock saying, "Let's go, Tracy." Also got Jeff Paisley said, "I wish I could be racing with y'all tonight. Thanks for the coverage, Intensity Broadcasting." Matt Geis says, "Philip Manzo, bring out the guns. Let's go, Hitman." Because there are a few trucks that did hit pit road. It looks like fifth on back hit pit road. Get some tires and fuel here to make it to the end. Well, from fifth on forward, looks like actually looks like fifth Harold Barnes was the first car to hit pit road, and everybody followed along with him. So your top four staying out on track. While we're under yellow here, let's take a look at the Outlaws schedule coming up for the rest of the season here. As I mentioned, we got our duels tonight. And then move on to 60 laps at Daytona, 100 laps at Homestead, then Richmond, Atlanta, Bristol, Charlotte, Martinsville, Kentucky, then the short track of Iowa, then the Texas, Chicagoland, another super speedway at Talladega, Michigan Auto Club, and then we start the playoffs at Auto Club. Sorry, Auto Club's the All-Star Week. Then we'll have the round of 16. One round of 16, one round of 12, one round of 8, and then the final 4. And that'll be North Wilkesboro, Kansas, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. So a great season. We're looking forward here on Intensity Broadcasting with the Outlaw trucks and the original Rebels trucks tonight. So our second race will roll off tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then the first original Rebels race will be at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and 11 for the second duel tonight here on Intensity Broadcasting. We're going to have flag-to-flag coverage of all 4 races tonight. You get to hear my wonderful voice all night tonight as these duels go on. I wouldn't rather be any other place on a Sunday night than with the original Rebels. These guys are a great league. This is one of my favorite leagues to announce. These guys have so much respect for each other. The give and take that these guys have, and you already saw it. Instead of trying to push it 3 and 4 wide on the first opening couple laps, these guys knew it was going to be a little sprint here. Get single file, figure out what these trucks are going to do in the draft, and see who they can work with, and get themselves to the front. I do know there's a couple teammates out here tonight. They're going to try to work themselves up to the front. But right now, Jerry Kershaw and Clint Reese, these guys are going to be your first 2 cars. They're going to see the green flag here as we're re-racked, restacked, and ready to refire. Pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Jerry Kershaw enters the restart zone. Green flag's back in the air. And a great jump there. Oh, the 42 spins its tires a little bit. Gets down, gets a little loose, and he's going to fall all the way back. I don't know if he missed a shift or what happened there, but that truck is way underpowered right now. And that's going to give a huge lead out to Jerry Kershaw. Yeah, Jerry Kershaw, which at Daytona is now what you want to have a big lead, because you can see these trucks already getting ready to swarm as they come down the backstretch. And yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Clint. I know as you see Hitmanzo getting a great push by Josh Anderson and up to the front. Hitman's going to leave Josh Anderson on that high side. So they come off of turn number 4 here. Trucks side by side. Manzo's got the lead across the line here as we got 24 laps to go here. But here comes the 07 of Josh Anderson with a great push by Keith Durst on that high side. Trying to make something happen. We know that 99 of Jerry Kershaw is a fast truck too, as he's trying to give Manzo a shove here. But it looks like Josh Anderson on the high side is going to have the advantage as they come off of turn number 2. Down the backstretch, you see him snaking, weaving, and wobbling. Due to the air coming off these trucks, the draft on these trucks is huge, as these trucks are basically giant bricks going down the straightaways here. Josh Anderson almost cleared. Oh, another spin behind. A great save. That was the 10 of James Jones, as he got a little loose there. Guy on the side of a truck, but he's going to keep going. Unfortunately, a lot of damage on that truck. As you can see, the right front fender actually missing from that truck. As we come across the line, and we're still green. Up front, still side by side. Josh Anderson, Phil Manzo, trying to get that top spot. As they come off of turn number 2 here. Anderson looks like he's got quite the push here. And Keith Durst they're both going to clear Phil Manzo here. Are they going to drop down to the bottom? Nope, Phil's going to come back on the inside underneath Durst. Oh, Durst doing a little wobble there. And you see Josh Anderson duck down to the bottom. Now Durst is getting a great push from Aaron Mack on that high side. And you see the 53 of Tracy Passons. They also up there on that high side with a great shove. And that third car in line, all he really wants to do is just stay near that back bumper As Keith Durst jumps back up to the high side here to try to pull Aaron Mack along. Sorry, yeah, Aaron Mack. As we see the Clint Riss car leaving from pit road here, back onto the track. He's a lap down, unfortunately. But if yellow comes out, he'll be able to get the lucky dog, get back onto the lead lap. Here comes Josh Anderson with a great run on the bottom. Oh, you see that 30 truck just getting really loose there in the corner. Able to hang on to it as he uses a little bit of a side draft, comes down, tries to take the momentum away on that bottom side. Looks like he's going to get a little bit of a run here through the tri-oval with a great shove from the 31. You see Manzo not quite back on the back bumper of Josh Anderson, so not allowing that bottom lane to really get any energy as here comes Durst down to the bottom. Leaves Aaron Mack on the high side with the 53 Tracy Passons. Oh, 3 wide for a second. Oh, we got some contact. Oh, big wreck. It's the big one here at Daytona. Caution is now out. Now, it looked to me like Keith Durst was driving a little too much with his mirror there instead of looking out the windshield, and tried to throw a block on that high side, and I'm not really sure exactly what happened. We're going to take a look here as we try to figure this one out right now. Take a look here from the blimp. Might give us our best view. You see Durst there on the bottom sliding up the track, trying to throw a little bit of a block as he sees that high lane starting to come. And the high lane says, no, we're just going to take you to the outside, make it 3 wide down the backstretch. And Durst must not have known that that truck was up there. They make some contact. Looks like Manzo and Josh Anderson, the only 2 trucks really not involved here. So once those guys start going around, it's just a parking lot on the backstretch. Looks like the 55 might be the only other truck that made it through that. It's Charlie Gates here. You see him getting, yep, he's going to get through it completely clean. Actually, a great view of this right here. Just looking how fast this happens and how little time you have to react and how fast it happens right here in front of you. Oh, looks like he does have just a little bit of damage on that truck. He's going to have to go in and get that fixed as Jerry Kershaw stays out on track. Now, not really sure what happened to Clint Reese as, like I said, he went a lap down. And it looks like his truck just did not get going. I don't know if he had an issue on that restart. I'm going to go back and see if I can see if we can find out what happened here. So here's the restart. Let's ride along with Clint Reese here and see if we can hear what happened here. Oh, that's what we like to call the money shift here. Sounds like he went from second gear to first gear. Yep, you hear the engine blow. Unfortunate for him, but that explains why he dropped like a rock there. As the lights are off on the pace car, we're getting ready to go back green flag racing here. Jerry Kershaw in the lead, Josh Anderson on that high side, Phil Manzo and Jonathan Schmiel, your second row. Eric Burkhalter and James Santoyo, your third row. See Brett Redderer on Facebook saying, let's go Hitman. As well as Paul Passon saying, watching. Glad to see you guys watching. I see 26 people watching across all platforms. Can't see how many are on eRacing TV. If you guys are on eRacing TV, thanks for watching as well. See 1 on Twitch, 10 on YouTube, 15 on Facebook. Don't be afraid to jump in that chat and let us know who you're pulling for tonight. Whether it's this race or next race, we love to hear from you. Love to shout you out. As the pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road, Jerry Kershaw is going to lead him back to the restart zone. Green flag's back in the air. We're back racing here at Daytona. See Josh Anderson tucking into the bottom side, trying to get behind Jerry Kershaw, not letting him get too far ahead. Brandon Wallace says, let's go Phil Manzo. A lot of guys pulling for the Hitman tonight in the Ray Cobb duel. Josh Anderson trying to battle on that high side here as they come down the backstretch. Trying to make something happen as he's going to get around Jerry Kershaw. And here comes the 50 of Jonathan Schmiel. He's also got a good run. So we got two cars spinning in the back. Yellow flag is out. We see what happened here towards the back of the field. It looks like looks like a bump draft gone wrong here. As we'll take a look here and see exactly what happened. So we see the 83 of Bud Barnes getting up on the back bumper of James Jones. And yeah, just a little too hard in the wrong corner. Gonna send those two trucks around. They look like they're teammates with the way their trucks are painted. The 31 of Aaron Mack barely sneaking through there, and it's just those two trucks involved as they go sliding down the backstretch here. A lot of damage. As you see, iRacing's got a bit of a new damage model on these trucks. Whole side of that truck is missing. As Jonathan Schmiel now going to take over the lead. 50 truck from State College, Pennsylvania. Some great looking trucks here in this Outlaw series. Listen, these guys put a lot of work into their paint jobs, which is awesome. I'm a sucker for a good paint job. People know that about me. Well, we got that Schmiel Racing Designs on both Jonathan. Oh no, that's Kool-Aid Monster Racing in second, and I believe the two trucks that just had some issues are also Kool-Aid Monster trucks as well. Oh, looks like James Jones is off the track, so we won't be able to see that. Kai Schappert says John Schmiel coming from the back. And Jeff Paisley says go get him, Manzo. And Jonathan Schmiel has come from the back, moving up 11 positions to get up to the lead here. Not our biggest mover of the race, so our biggest mover of the race so far is James Santoyo. Up 12 spots, up into the 5th spot. After starting 17th in the race, dead last on the track. Josh Anderson up 7 spots to get up to that 2nd spot. Kool-Aid Monster Motorsports right there. So I believe the lights on the pace car are going to be shutting off this time by. We're just going to have 15 laps to go in this first duel. Don't forget to stick around for our second duel, the Matthew Mann duel. Right after this, another 35 lap event to set the outside row. I apologize, I cannot talk, and I haven't even been drinking tonight. The second duel, the Matthew Mann duel, to set the outside row for next week at Daytona. As the lights on the pace car are off, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, get ready to refire them here at Daytona. Can Jonathan Schmiel keep that lead? Does Josh Anderson have anything for him on the outside? Can Manzo get himself up there to get himself a win in the duel? Again, Adam Lang has already locked himself into the pole. So this is set in spots 3, 5, 7, and on back. So the inside row for next week's race at Daytona. It's awesome that these Original Rebels do this. Kind of gets that Speed Weeks kind of feel. Also makes it a little bit more exciting. It makes these little races, you get acclimated with the people around you, since it is a new season, some new faces and new places. But also means something other than just getting some practice around these guys. But pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Jonathan Schmiel brings them down to the restart zone. Green flag's back in the air. And Josh Anderson's going to waste no time getting down to the bottom in front of Phil Manzo. And on the outside, Jerry Kershaw trying to make something happen up there. He got no help up there. But he's going to see what he can do as now Josh Anderson jumps to the high side. And that's going to allow Jerry to get up there and give him a shove. As nobody's really pushing on that bottom lane, that's going to allow these guys to get a little bit of a side draft. You see how close these guys are getting down the backstretch, trying to make something happen. Jonathan Schmiel able to hold on to that lead right now, but here comes Josh Anderson fighting hard on the outside. They were almost neck and neck going into turn number 3. Usually if you can get somebody on your back bumper, that high side can really make something happen. It looks like that high side really starting to form up well out there. See if they can get the energy. They're actually 3 wide a little further back. As we see a third row starting to form up here. That's the 42. Who thinks better of it and tucks back in line. Actually, the 42, that's Clint Rist. He's a lap down. So he was trying to make something happen on the high side. Maybe get his lap back the hard way. You see, these guys are 3 wide as they come down the backstretch. Little chopper view, see everything. Back to 2 wide as they file through turns 3 and 4. And it looks like that 31 of Aaron Mack really on the back bumper of the 99. Here comes the 50. Jonathan Schmiel up to the high side with Jerry Kershaw coming to give him a shove. That's what you want. You want somebody riding your back bumper, giving you the push. That third place car, all he wants to do is just hang on that back bumper. He doesn't want to make contact with that car in the middle. Because once you're the meat and the sandwich, you can send that car in the middle around. As Clinton Reese is still trying to make that high side work by himself. Oh, now they're trying to leave. Nope, they're not. I thought they were going to split the 99 there for a second, but he gets back in line. As we cross the line this time, we're going to have just 10 laps to go. in this first duel to set the inside row for next week's race at Daytona. Josh Anderson up to a bit of a commanding lead. He's got no real help. Here comes the high side trying to make something happen again. Jonathan Smeal. Oh, a little wreck behind. Couple cars involved, but it looks like we're going to stay green. As that happened behind the field, and so it was Bud Barnes making a little bit of contact here. This is a replay. The 83 comes up into the 42. Back up front. Josh Anderson, gets forced down below the yellow line. Able to hang on to it. I don't know if Manzo made a little contact with him or not. Oh, they're wrecking behind. Yellow flag is out. I believe it looked like I think it was the 83 might have washed up the track just a little bit. No, it wasn't the 83. I apologize. Might have been the 79. Let's see if we can see exactly what happened here. As they're coming off the corner here. Oh, the 50. That's Jonathan Schmiel. Comes down, gets a little loose, comes down onto the 79. That all happens behind. See the 30 of Keith Durst involved. Jonathan Smeal, Jerry Kershaw involved as well. Great job of the 25 of Colton Lanford. Looks like he's, no, I thought he was going to get through, but looks like at the very last second, makes a little bit of contact. Doesn't hurt his car too badly. Well, that changes things a bit. As now, that's going to move Manzo up into the second position. See, John Smeal on Facebook says, go Smeal number 50. Fortunately, that's not what he wanted to see with that car on pit road. And it looks like, does not look like that car had a reset. As we still see the smoke pouring out of it. I think that's going to end his night tonight. See, Manzo from Henderson, Nevada on that high side. Going to be restarting in the second position. Does he have anything for Josh Anderson? Josh Anderson's been so strong tonight in this first duel. Is he going to be able to hold off the hard-charging Phil Manzo? Or are we going to get a little bit of a surprise from someone like James Santoya? Up into the third spot, up 14 spots from his original starting position. Eric Burkhalter quietly sitting in the fourth spot right now. In that 71 machine. Biding his time. Doing what he can to stay up there. Tracy Passon's up in that fifth spot. In that 53. Charlie Gates in the 55. We saw him have some issues earlier. Still got a little bit of damage to that vehicle, but he's sitting back there in the sixth spot. Harold Barnes, who had some issues earlier in the race. Up in the seventh. Jerry Kershaw. Looks like he had a reset and he was able to get that truck fixed up. Colton Lanford in the 25. Looks like he is a lap down. So it looks like, yep, Jerry is going to be the last car on the lead lap. Colton Lanford, the first car, one lap down with Keith Durst. And then Jonathan Schmiel still on pit road. Clint Riss still on pit road. You know, he had used his reset already. Aaron Mack. Adam Jones out of the race. Rich Yeoman out of the race. So we only have 8 cars left on the lead lap here. To see who's going to win the first race of the season and get themselves locked in for their positions here in next week's race at Daytona. When we take the green flag, we're going to have just six laps to go. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Josh Anderson? Is it going to be Phil Manzo? Is it going to be somebody from further back? We'll have to see. We'll have to see who's going to win this first Ray Cobb duel here at Daytona. Lights on the pace car are off. We're getting ready to refire these machines here as they come off of turn number 4. Pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Josh Anderson's going to lead him down to the restart zone. Green flag's back in the air. That was a great jump there from Josh Anderson. Getting out to a bit of a lead, pulling the 79 of James Santoyo up to the front with him. Phil Manzo's going to try to drop down into that bottom spot in front of Eric Burkhalter. Oh, here goes Burkhalter to the high side with Tracy Passons. See Josh Lokovitz saying, Tracy, 5th to 1st. Come on, man. As that high side now is starting to form up a little bit. Get some energy on that high lane. Try to make something happen as they come into turn number 3. At 71 of Eric Burkhalter getting a great shove there from Tracy Passons. And that 55 able to help on that high side too of Charlie Gates. As those 3 trucks are making something happen on that high side. Oh, a little bit of contact between Gates and Josh Anderson. That's going to, unfortunately, Gates is going to get freight trained on that high side. He's got no more help. As we have just 5 laps to go decided here at Daytona. Eric Burkhalter up to the point with Tracy Passons. Give him a great shove. Here comes Josh Anderson, Santoyo. Can they make something happen? I do believe, yeah, those guys are both teammates in those Kool-Aid Monster trucks. The 07 and the 79. Can they team up, get around them on the high side, or is somebody else going to try to make the move first? As they cross the line here, 4 laps to go. The 99, Jerry Kershaw, getting a little bit of a push now on that high side. There goes the Kool-Aid Monster trucks up to the high side. They saw Jerry Kershaw come, and they thought they'd go up there and take his runaway and use it to their advantage as they come off of turn number 2. Well, right now, Eric Burkhalter getting a great shove from Tracy Passons, but here comes those 2 Kool-Aid Monster trucks on that high side. As they go around Clint Reese's damaged truck. Coming off turn number 4. Who can make that work? As we see a 3rd Kool-Aid Monster truck up on that high lane as well. 3 laps to go here. Can those teammates work together with the help of Jerry Kershaw on the 99? Also, it looks like the 25 of Colton Lanford just jumped up to that high side. So now we got that high side really working well now. They're going to have the energy as they come down the backstretch, as there's more cars working up on that high side than on that bottom side. Give the lead to Josh Anderson as they come down the backstretch. Isn't quite clear of Eric Burkhalter. How Eric Burkhalter slides up the track just a little bit in that 71 machine. Causes the 07 to get a little lift there. Popsicle sticks are in the air. 2 to go as they cross the line here. Josh Anderson's going to lead that lap as they go off the tri-oval and into turn number 1. Now it's going to be all about who's got the best push, whose truck's the coolest, and who can stay locked onto that truck in front of them without spinning them as they come down the backstretch. Josh Anderson, James Santoyo now. First and second as Josh Anderson's going to leave his teammate there on the high side and get down in front of Eric Burkhalter in that 71. We know that 99 of Jared Kershaw can push. Can he push James Santoyo to the lead here? As they come across the stripe, white flag is in the air. It's the last lap here at Daytona in the first duel, the Ray Cobb duel. Is it going to be Josh Anderson? Is it going to be Eric Burkhalter as they work their way through 1 and 2? Oh, James Santoyo falls back just a little bit. That's going to give Burkhalter the shot to the outside. He's going to bring Tracy Passons along with him as they come down the backstretch. The 79 trying to make it 3 wide, gets a little loose. The 07, Josh Anderson down below. Oh, they're wrecking. Big wreck. Up at the front, Burkhalter all by himself. Harold Barnes trying to make something happen. Oh, they're still wrecking. Manzo into the wall. And across the line, your first duel winner, Eric Burkhalter with Harold Bud Barnes in second, and Charlie Gates slipping across the line in third. We're going to have to go back and take a look at these two incidents that happened. This would be our first one here. As Tracy Passons, and it looks like Josh Anderson involved in that one as well, and Colton Lanford. And then a little further back, we saw Hitman trying to make something happen. Coming off the corner, almost makes a little contact with Bud Barnes and catches that outside wall, comes back across the track. But your winner of tonight's race, Eric Burkhalter. So we take a look at your results. Again, this is going to be your inside row behind Adam Lang. So starting third, it's going to be Eric Burkhalter. Fifth will be Bud Barnes. Seventh will be Charlie Gates. Ninth will be James Santoyo. 11th will be Phil Manzo. And on back, as you can see, the finishing out order here. Well, let's see if we can get any interviews in tonight. Let's see here. Oh, I do want to speak to our winner tonight, at least. See if I can surprise him and move him up into the booth with me. Hey, Eric, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Gotcha, bud.
Hey, man, congratulations on the win tonight in the Ray Cobb duel. That was a pretty intense finish there. Coming from a little bit further back to get to the lead there. You guys had that hooked up on the high side. How'd the race go for you overall tonight?
I went well. Tracy, my teammate, that's the only reason I could get up there. We, pretty much worked together the whole race when we could. Wouldn't have won it without him for sure.
Yeah, you guys seem to have those teammate trucks hooked up on the high side there. Unfortunately, they got cut up in a little bit there towards the end, but a great run overall for the Kool-Aid Monster team, and great to see you get the win. first win of the season, even though it really doesn't pay any points. Besides your teammates, anybody you got to thank tonight? Any shout outs you want to give?
Just all the guys at Dirt Affliction, wife and kids for allowing me to do this. They're in there grilling burgers and fixing to have to go eat. So, league for putting it on, and all the guys, I really enjoyed running with them.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the win in the Ray Cobb Duel, and I'm sure you'll be one to watch next week in the race at Daytona.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care. Have a great one. Well, there you have. That was your winner, Eric Burkhalter, of the first duel tonight. We're going to take a short break and get ready to catch our second duel, which is going to be the Matthew Mann duel. So don't remember to stick around for that as we get ready for our second duel. Again, congratulations to Eric Burkhalter, and stick around. We'll be back with you soon. And welcome back, everybody, to Daytona International Speedway for duel number 2 here in the Original Rebels Sunday Night Truck Outlaw series. And we're going to take a look at who's going to be in this race here. This one's going to be the Matthew Mann duel with Jason Day locked in on the outside. And you see this is going to be mostly your starting order. There are a couple drivers that did not qualify last night and are going to be in the race here and starting at the back. Let's take a look, see who's on track right now, as we got just a couple more minutes left in practice. There's one of those drivers that didn't qualify last night. Who's getting some contact there. It's the 8 of Eddie Morris. Eddie, one of the Intensity broadcast announcers as well. Runs in the iOS series. We see him a lot. Joshua Thompson also in this race tonight. Matt Geis. Greg Froelich. Ryan Huff. A couple drivers out on track right now. As we got about 2 minutes left. Before we get this duel underway. Couple shout outs already in the Facebook, as we want to again congratulate Eric Burkhalter on his win in the first duel. Tyler D. Talente, I'm sorry if I murdered your last name, says, wish I could have made it. Go Ryan Huff, 73, Evil Empire Simsport. And we got Eric Burkhalter saying Tracy Parsons was pushing like there was no tomorrow. And Jeff Paisley says, go Arcadian Motorsports. So we got about a minute and a half left before we get duel number 2 underway. Again, it really doesn't mean much to win practice, but it lets you know who the fast cars are around the track and who you can work with. Again, qualifying order was set last night in qualifying. And this is duel number 2 to set the outside row for next week's race at Daytona. Again, this one is dedicated to Matthew Mann. Talent. Close. I've heard a lot worse pronunciations of it. Got it. I tried. Let's see. I also see Douglas County say, can't believe Lanford didn't finish on the lead lap. Yeah, Lanford got some damage early, caught up in a couple wrecks that weren't anything to do with him, and was not able to get out there. And then Brett Ritter says, let's go Pope, a.k.a. Matt Geis. Tyler, the talent says, respect. Jeff Bezos says, go win this thing, Ritter. As we are getting ready to line them up here. We'll take a look at our grid. We see Matt Clement on the pole with Fry Hubbard starting on the outside. Kai Schappert in third with Joshua Thompson rolling off outside of row number 2. And then we're going to have Ryan Derrick and Michael Swink in 5th and 6th. The 68 of Stephen McDonald and the 2 of Matt Geis be rounding out row number 4. Greg Froelich and Jeremy Baralt rounding out row 5. Brendan Pollock and Mike Wells, 11th and 12th, with Jason Rockefeller and Jamie Mullins rounding out 13th and 14th. Mike Morkran in the 46, he'll roll off 15th with Daniel Stewart on the outside in 16th. Eddie Morris in the 8 will be rolling off in The 17th spot with Jake Ironman Elling outside of him in 18th. And then finally, Ryan Huff and Steve Loving will round out your field here. And not much has changed since the last duel. Temperature is still the same. Still 67 degrees. I'm sorry, 67% humidity. We saw that humidity cause these trucks to really cut through the air and have some big runs in the draft. Draft's going to be important tonight again. As Jeff Paisley's looking for Brett Redderer, who's going to be in the original Rebels League duel, not the Outlaw duel, which is coming up in about an hour from now. We're going to have 2 more races of our quadruple header here on Intensity Broadcasting. As right now, we're still working with the Outlaw series. We're going to be moving into the original Rebels trucks right at the conclusion of this one. As the pace car works off of turn number 4, gets ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. And Matt Clemens going to bring him down to the starting zone. Green flag's in the air. We're racing here at Daytona in our second duel. Side by side already as they come into work into turn number 1. We see Matt Clement with a little bit of an advantage here going into the corner. Kai Shepard giving a great shove now. Move him up into the second spot. So he's able to push Matt Clemton right there to the front. Oh, a little bit of contact there. We see the 33. Joshua Thompson. Looks like he's going to pull down to the apron and drop to the back. He wants nothing to do with this early as it's already starting to get wild. 14 of Fry Hubbard, though, with a great push from Michael Swink on the high side. As they come off of turn number 4. Work this little short shoot down to the tri-oval. Side by side to the line. Looks like Fry Hubbard's going to lead this lap by just a nose, but Matt Clemton coming back. Coming back on the bottom side. Again with that great push from Kai Shepard. And Matt Geis already in that third spot on the high lane. Up 3 spots, trying to make things happen early here. As neither lane really has an advantage. One guy really making his way through the field already is Eddie Morris. Already up into the 11th spot as they come off of turn number 4. Looks like they were trying to make it 3 wide for a second, but they get it all straightened out. And now Michael Swink to the lead with Matt Geis right behind. Great battles all over the track as we see Fry Hubbard sitting in that 3rd spot. Kai Shepard falling all the way back to 7th. But Matt Geis and Michael Swink got those 2 trucks hooked up now. As they're starting to pull gap a little bit from that high side. See the 74 of Jeremy Brault trying to get a little push from the 08 of Mike Wells. That high side does not look like the place to be right now, as unlike the first duel where we saw that high side really prevailing, that top side is not really working as now Kai Shepard jumps up to the high side to see if he can make it work. Gets a big push from the 74. Now that high side looks like it's starting to get a little bit of energy up there as Kai Shepard's leading the train. Jump to the top now. I believe that is Fry Hubbard. And Fry's going to try to make that high side work as well, as they're going to make that energy on that high side work. A little bit of a gap between Matt Geist and the 19 of Matt Clement, and that's going to let that high side really start to fill up and form up because they are so much better together on that high side than they are on the bottom side. And here comes Fry Hubbard trying to take the lead away from Michael Swink, and as they come down the backstretch, give Hubbard the nose as they come into turn number 3. Hubbard actually going to clear him, get down to the bottom, and leave Kai stuck up there on the high side. But the 74, Jeremy Burrell, here he comes with a great push again on Kai Shepard, trying to push Kai up to the lead. Kai's got the push on the high side. He's got the momentum. Fry Hubbard's going to lead that lap, but for how much longer is Kai? The huge shove into turn number 1. See, Matt Geist just got biding his time there in that third position on the bottom. He's trying to play chess right now, try to see what's going on and make the best of it. Sometimes you got to look 2 or 3 laps ahead and in your mind to see what's going to happen. I always compare super speedway racing to playing chess, because you have to look around what's going on around you and make moves based off of other people's moves. Right now, though, the field really packed up tight. Take a look at our track map. It looks like we might have 2 cars that have kind of fallen off the pack a little bit, which we have. And that's Joshua Thompson and Jason Rockefeller. They're completely off the pack, lost the draft, and they're about 8 seconds behind these guys, which at a super speedway is an eternity. Not a place you want to lose the pack. But Kai Shepard's still trying to get that high side working here. As it looked like the 79 may have just gotten a little too warm. Or sorry, the 74 may have got a little too warm. Had to back off a little bit, cool off that truck. But here they come back to the lead here. Kai Shepard, but nose coming into turn number 1. Oh, the 18 wiggles a little bit, gets a little loose. Falls off the back bumper of Fry Hubbard. That's going to let that high side really get a good run off of turn number 2 here and down the backstretch. And now you see that 18 of Michael Swink back on the back bumper, giving the big shove. Matt Geist just trying to hang on there behind the 18, trying to help out as much as he can without making contact. And there's a big gap between Matt Geist and the 19 of Matt Clement. And that's going to really hurt that bottom side. It doesn't look like it would, but not having that guy sucked right up on the back bumper is going to allow that high side to really get the run here. As you can see, Kai Shepard's going to lead that lap. Kai is actually clear. Hubbard, he's going to go down. Yes, he does into turn number 1. Give Kai Shepard the lead as he makes the move down in front of Fry Hubbard. Now we know Jeremy Barrow is hot up there on that high side as he was just pushing Kai. Can he make that high side work? As Hubbard's giving the big shove here to Kai down the backstretch. And the turn number 3. Side by side from second on back. And that 18 just does not look like he's handling as well as some of the other trucks out there. Looks like he's getting a little loose getting in the corner. He's kind of pushing up the track, having to catch it. And that's not a fun feeling when you're doing almost 200 miles an hour. Right now, it looks like that high side is just starting to fall back a little bit. You see Jeremy Ball on the high side falling back, not really able to do anything. See that low side starting to form up. Oh, the 18 really loose there. Able to gather it up, but that truck does not look happy right now. Because now he's going to move up to the high side with Matt Geist. Throw a big block on the 74. Now they're going to try to make that high side work. Eric Burkhalter says, keep it clean, Kai. Go win it. That was your winner from the first duel. As here comes Michael Swink in that 18 truck on the outside. At the line, Kai's going to have it by just a nose that time by. Side by side into turn 1 again. 25 laps to go. We're already got 10 laps in the book. This race a lot cleaner than the first one was. Not trying to jinx it, but we're going to have to see how these guys run it again. These guys are trying to line up for next week's Daytona race. This is going to make the outside row. And even though it's not for points, it always feels good to get that first win under your belt. And Michael Swink was almost clear of Kai Schappert, but Swink had to think better of it before pulling down, as the 14 of Fry Hubbard had a great push on Kai's back bumper and kept him up there in the front. It looks like this time I thought Hubbard was going to be clear of the 14, but I'm sorry, of the 18, but he was not. You see these trucks really moving around. Most of that is the air coming off the trucks in front of them. Again, nice humid night. Oh, Greg Fronek gets a little loose there coming off the corner. Almost gets up into the side. I believe that was Eddie Morris up there. But they're able to hold on to it and keep it going straight as they come off of turn number 4. A little short shoot down to the tri-oval. Michael Swink buying nose. They come across the line. Man, if that was the last lap, that would have been a photo finish right there. Normally when you're on point, you're up in the front here, you're thinking, man, this is where I want to be. But right now, as racy as these guys are, you think it was the last lap. And not with 23 to go, as these guys are all over each other's back bumpers, trying to make it work as they come down the backstretch yet again. Unfortunately for Joshua Thompson and Jason Rockefeller, the only thing they can hope for right now is a yellow, as they are back almost 14 seconds behind the pack. We see Steve Loving and Steve McDonald just kind of hanging off the back of this pack here. Didn't lose the draft. They're just kind of got a sniff of it. Trying to stay out of trouble and trying to do what they can to be there at the end in case something big happens in front of them. We see Kai Schappert now with the full lead here. Great push by Fry Hubbard. Well, the 19 pushes up the track almost into the 18 there as they go through 3 and 4. We see those guys committed to the high line, trying to make everything they can happen up there. That time by Kai Schappert with a commanding lead over that high side. Almost a truck and a half, which right now has been probably the biggest lead we've seen in the last few laps. Oh, the 18 gets real loose off the corner. Almost comes down into the side of Fry Hubbard. He's able to hold on to it. Matt Geis had to get out of it a little bit. That top side loses all their momentum. And now the 19 breaks off of Fry Hubbard here. And that's going to kill the momentum on the bottom side. That top lane now should get the run as they come through this little short shoot through the tri-oval. And I always talk about, when it comes to super speedway racing, I always talk about energy. And you're seeing it now because that 19 fell off the back of Fry Hubbard. That top lane is able to get that momentum, get that energy working. And you'll see that those 3 trucks that are close together are going to work a lot better than those 2 trucks that are losing a little bit of help from behind them. Gianna Lashley says, I wouldn't count out Rockefeller and Thompson. Anything can happen. This is true. If a yellow comes out, these guys are going to be right back in it. And if it does come out, these guys are going to be in great shape because they're going to be away from the wreck as far back as they are. Looks like Eddie Morris has fallen off that top lane a little bit. Don't know if he's trying to, sees something he doesn't like happening in front of him. He's just trying to get away from it, or if something happened. But Michael Swink now to the high side, to the lead for that lap. And Kai Schappert again. So these guys are battling hard up here. We have just under 20 laps to go. here at Daytona in our second duel. This is the Matthew Mann duel. You see those trucks snake. Oh, one truck catches the wall just a little bit. Saw the sparks flying. Doesn't know if it's going to hurt that truck too much or not. That looks like it was the... That was the 08 of Mike Wells up into the wall. But able to hold on to it. As the battle up front continues. As we're still side by side for the lead. It does look like Eddie Morris drops down to that bottom lane, so it looks like he's seeing something that he didn't like in front of him and had to drop down and get out of there. As we did see a couple cars up into the wall a moment ago. Matt Geis got real loose there in the corner, pushing that 18 of Michael Swink. And being loose at 200 miles an hour is not a fun feeling. It's not the feeling you want to be. You saw cars from the wall to the apron trying to get any momentum. And any air to the nose they can is in the pack like that. These trucks can start to get real hot. Kai Shepard, though, really dominating this race right now. Oh, a little... Oh, whoa, he got one through the grass back there. Whoops. Trying to see who that is. That's the 61, Jake Ironman Elling. See if we can see exactly what happened right there real quick. Looks like, oh, a little bit of contact. A couple cars getting together back there. He takes a wild ride through the grass. Able to hold on to it. And while all that happened, Matt Geis to the lead. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened. Oh, Matt Geis got the lead here. Matt Geis jumped up to the high side in front of the 74. Took that run. Was able to get himself to the lead here. And now trucks starting to hit pit road. Kai Shepard, Fry Hubbard, Brandon Pollock, Michael Morkid, Greg Froelich, all on the pit road, getting their service done. And now Matt Geis is going to lose the lead to Jamie Burrell on that high side with the 08 of Mike Wells trying to go and push. But here comes the 18 of Michael Swink. Back to the back bumper of Geis. Now we're going to have to see when the next round of pit stops are going to go. If people are going to pop in here, or if they're going to wait, see if they can stretch the fuel a little longer, maybe catch a yellow. We'll throw the track map up there so we can see where everybody is. A couple more cars hitting pit road. Matt Geis, Michael Swink, Matt Clement, Daniel Stewart, Jake Elling, Eddie Morris, all hitting pit road. That's going to leave Jeremy Balt, Mike Wells, Jamie Mullins, Ryan Huff, Steve Loving, and Steve McDonald out there. And right now, Steve Loving and Steve McDonald really got to push right now to get themselves back up to this group, which they are almost caught up. So their strategy was just to hang off the back of the field just enough to where if they needed to catch back up, they could. We're going to be in good shape for this next round of pit stops. As we see everybody rolling off a pit road now. As these guys now hit pit road. Looks like Loving and McDonald are going to stay out one more lap. We see Matt Geis coming off a pit road. He's got himself quite a bit of a lead over Michael Swink, which at any other track you want to have a little bit of a lead, but man, not here at Daytona. As we got Steve McDonald and Mike Loving still staying out here. Think they'll be coming to pit road this time by. Here they come. So right now your leader is going to be the 74, Jerry Barrel. But here comes Matt Geiss and Michael Swink. They're going to assume the lead, and you can see as the field merges back on and rejoins. Some trucks up the speed, some still trying to get up the speed. Oh, some contact almost. Looks like the, I think that was the 46 of Mike Moorkid. Nope, that was a 56, excuse me. Kind of just came down and didn't realize that the 74 was there. So now Kai Shepard and Fry Hubbard starting to hook up here with the 19 of Matt Clement. See if he gets in line, or well, he's going to try to battle a little bit with Kai Shepard. Which this group back here, it's not what they want to be doing. These guys want to get in line so they can try to run down Matt Geiss and Michael Swink, because right now those two trucks hooked up the way they are. If they can hook up with one more truck, which they might be able to do with this lap truck. Sorry, that's not a lap truck. That's the 27 of, or 57, excuse me, of Steve Loving. If Steve can hook back up with these guys, they might be able to do something, but it looks like Steve's kind of caught in the middle right now. He's able to give a nice little draft to the cars behind him. That's going to be Fry Hubbard and Kai Shepard. They are just starting to get a sniff of his draft. And that's going to give them the big run here as they go into turn number 3. They're going to push him, or are they going to try to go around him? Looks like they're going to push him. By doing that, that's going to let... Oh, no, now they make the move around him to the high side. And they've caught Michael Swink and Matt Geiss. Now that high lane is going to have such a speed differential. Oh, the 18 of Michael Swink gets real loose there. Here comes Fry Hubbard on that high side. We got just 10 laps to go, 9.5 as they come down the backstretch. Matt Geiss really controlling that bottom side right now with Michael Swink right behind him. Fry Hubbard trying to pull. Oh, we got one from the wall. Oh, some contact. Everybody stays straight, though. We stay green. And as I say that, Matt Geiss still controlling that bottom lane with the 18 of Michael Swink. But can Fry Hubbard and Kai Shepard get to the front? And that 57 of Loving, who is hanging back in the field, both him and McDonald were so far back in the field. Now they're right up in the mix here, as they're sitting third and fourth on that bottom row. Who was that hit the wall? I believe that was Ryan Huff and Mike Moorkid. They come off the corner here. Yep, that's exactly who it was. Ryan Huff, as you can see the damage on the right side of that truck. And Mike Moorkid also catching the wall there. But up front, Matt Geiss now has control. He can go to any line he wants as he's got the lead all by himself. The 18 of Michael Swink wiggling around now, trying to get to his back bumper. Now Fry Hubbard with the run on the high side. As Hubbard's going to take the lead now away from Geis. That's going to leave Kai Shepard up on the high side with the 19 of Mike Clement. Let's see if they can make the high side work. Oh, Greg Froelich getting a little bit out of shape back there. He's able to hold on to it. Kai just no help. That high line now dropping like a rock. We'll see if Michael Swink jump up to the high side. Nope, Matt Geis goes up there with Michael Swink. The two of them are going to get back around Fry Hubbard. Here comes Kai Shepard on that high side as well, using that draft. Oh, couple of rounds in the back. Yellow is out. That's going to bring up our first wreckage rewind of this race. So we see exactly what happened here. So I believe it looked like the 68 may have gotten turned there of McDonald. So we look from the blimp here. You see the 19. Yeah, the 19 just comes down the track a little bit, hooks the 68 of McDonald. Those two bounce off the wall. There's the 61 of Jake Ellen going down to the bottom. Along with, I think that's Ryan. Yep, that's Ryan Derrick also involved there. It looks like the rest of the field is going to get by unscathed. See Matt Clement jump the pit road. I think he had some issues there. Ryan Derrick, though, smoking. That's not the look you want to see. Very heavy damage to that truck. But your leader right now, Matt Geis. League owner, owns the original Rebels Racing League. He's got one truck championship. Because when we go back green flag racing, we should only have about 3 laps to go. What a exciting and wild race this second duel has been. And folks, we got 2 more duels after this. We're going to have the original Rebels League having their duels coming up at 10 and 11 Eastern. So don't forget to check those out right here on Intensity Broadcasting or eRacing TV if you're watching on the Roku or the Fire Stick. Don't know what eRacing TV is? Well, you can check them out. You can download. It's a free app on Roku and Fire TV. And you can watch your original Rebels racing as well as a couple other racing series on eRacing TV on your big screen without having to look it up on YouTube or Facebook or anything like that. So check that out. It's eRacing TV. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, Intensity Broadcasting. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're also on Twitter at Intensity Broad 1. I know Atman Weiss, young man, likes to post questions and polls and talk about the NASCAR races. So don't forget to give that a follow as well. You can see Atlee in action tomorrow night on the iOS series, iOS Pro series, right here on Intensity Broadcasting. You'll have Joe Wright and Dave Wright for the call on that one. It looks like we're getting ready to double file them up here. Re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to refire them as the lights on the pace car do shut off as they come across the line. We'll be going green at the end of this lap. And we will have just 3 laps to decide the winner of the duel and to see who's going to start in that 4th spot. Again, this is for the outside row of next week's Daytona race. So the winner of this race will start 4th. Second place will start 6th and on back. So really, the intensity is going to wrap up as these guys are going to try to get the best starting positions they can. And again, don't forget to join Intensity Broadcasting for all Original Rebels racing. Between the Outlaw Rebels, the Original Rebels, the Friday Night Xfinity Series, which is just starting its playoffs. They're going to be at Dover this Friday for their first round of the playoffs. I was excited to make the playoffs in that series, so don't forget to check that out. You're going to have Zach Wetstein with the call on Friday nights. As the pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road, and Matt Geis is going to lead them back to the restart zone. Green flag's back in the air. Matt Geis with a great jump, and Michael Swink already jumping down to the bottom in front of Fry Hubbard. Try to get every advantage he can as they cross the line, and Steve Loving up there in the 4th spot. Great run for him after he was just kind of hanging to the back, staying out of trouble all night. Now he's up there with a chance to win this thing. Because really at Daytona, with 3 laps to go, anything can happen. You can easily go from first to last as you can from last to first. So as they come down the backstretch, everybody's kind of single file right now, biding their time, trying to see what they can do. Like Michael Swink got a little tight there getting in the corner as they come off of turn number 4. Single file. Matt Geis still leading this train on the bottom side. Fry Hubbard thought he was going to take a look to the outside. He stays down the bottom. Now we see Eddie Morse jumping to the high side, trying to make something happen back there. 2 to go. Popsicle sticks in the sky. There's 2 laps to go here. Can Matt Geis hang on to it, or is Michael Swink going to make a last lap ditch, try to get the win himself, or is it going to be coming from a little further back as we see that high lane really starting to form up back there? Do they have enough time to get themselves to the front? We'll have to see, as I believe that top lane right now is being led by the 01 of Jason Rockefeller. So somebody said, don't count out Jason Rockefeller out. Well, here he comes on that high side. Ooh, a little contact and some smoke in the back there. They're 3 wide. Little contact. Oh, the 46 up into Greg Froelich. Eddie Morris involved, the 33. No yellow as the white flag is out. Up at the front, Matt Geis. In the 18, here comes that high side. Trying to make something happen here. Fry Hubbard's going to jump up to the high side. Oh, they're going to leave Fry. Oh, here Mike Loving gets spun around. Hubbard gets spun around. Big wreck behind. Matt Geis still getting pushed by Michael Swink. Is Swink going to try to take the away from him as they come off of turn number 4? Matt's looking in his mirror. They're side by side to the stripe. Is it going to be Swink? Is it going to be Geis as they come across the line? Michael Swink is your winner here in the Matthew Mann Duel. Matt Geis finishes second. Jeremy Barreau finishes in third. Steve Loving in fourth, and Jamie Mullins in fifth. And let's take a look at these last wild couple laps here, as there was a couple different wrecks that happened. You see the 08 get turned around. They were 3 wide back here. Almost 4 wide as the 73 and the 46 make contact with Greg Froelich. He gets around. Eddie Morris involved in that as well. And then our second wreck happened. You see Jake Ironman Elling up on that high side here as they come through turns 2. And onto the backstretch. You see Fry Hubbard make that big block to the high side, trying to take every advantage he can. Oh, just some contact back there, and yeah, that is not the way you want to finish this race. And comes back across the track, takes out, I believe that's Jason Rockefeller. But your winner tonight, Michael Swink, as he's burning it down on the front stretch. As we take a look at our final results. Again, your winner, Michael Swink. Matt Geist finishes second. Jeremy Burrow finishes third. Steve Loving and Jamie Mullins make up your top five. Stephen McDonald, Eddie Morris, Mike Morkin, Kai Shapper, Ryan Huff finish out your top 10. Then we have Fry Hubbard, Joshua Thompson, Greg Froenick, Jason Rockefeller, Mike Wells, Brandon Pollock, Jake Ironman Elling, Matt Clement, Ryan Derrick, and Daniel Stewart make out your top. The rest of the field here as we take a look at the rest of the results. But your winner tonight, Michael Swink, who will be starting in the fourth spot come next week. And we got a couple people in the booth here. Let's see if I know Jeremy Burrow is not in the waiting room. Let's pull in Matt Geis. Matt, you got Josh in the booth. You got me?
Hey, what's up, Josh?
Man, hell of a run tonight. I thought you had it there, and then Michael Swink jumped to the outside there, coming to the line. Great battle between you. Just edged you out, but overall, just a great race. Nice, clean race. How the patience tonight seemed to be the key. How'd you see the race from your side?
Oh man, that was exciting stuff. So I'm with Reaper Racing and Rebels. I'm kind of double dipping in the league just because it's the only night I get to race every week. So I'm gonna do both series as long as I can. And over in Outlaws, we got Pale Horse Racing. Michael Swink is a teammate. As we were stuck together the entire night. We had help in the chat with Garrett, the team owner, and Brandon Wallace. Everybody in the team was kind of helping us out, calling some shots, telling us who's got runs here and there. And we were patient. We knew Fry and Kai were going to work together, and Fry is a hell of a pusher. So that was the biggest obstacle right there, was trying to get around those two. Once we did that, we felt good, man. We got clean pit in and out. It was a hell of a time. And then Swink, they told us everybody was wrecking on that last lap in the mirror, and it was just me and Swink. And I said, hell, Mike, let's just let's just race. Let's race it to the line. We worked together. We kept each other up front. I was like, we're going to have fun, and we're going to race it to the line and see what happens. And he got it. So I'm happy with that, man.
Yeah, those pit stops seem to be the key, as you guys absolutely killed the pit stops. You actually came out about 3 seconds ahead of everybody else on that pit stop, and I thought you were going to be in a little bit of trouble. The field was going to pass you on by. But it looked like when you guys got around Steve Loving, he kind of threw the block for the field behind you, and you guys were able to stay up there. But again, congratulations on the finish. Any shout-outs you got to give? I know you already gave out a bunch of shout-outs, but I always got to ask if you got any more to give.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, Reaper Racing, Pale Horse Racing, everybody I mentioned, Ryan Derrick, Matt Clement, Ryan Wallace, everybody over there, Coach. Of course, Michael Swink, he's also stepped up to run the Outlaw Series for me this year. All my league admins, man, they help me out so much. And I don't make it easy on them all the time. Sometimes I put a lot of pressure on them. Jesse Necula, Joaquin, Logan Sturgeon, Jason Warren, Seth Griffith. There's so many of them. They all help me out a ton. Our league sponsors, Mesa Motorsports, is sponsoring the Outlaw Series. We got whole sheet metal for the Rebels Series. Of course, y'all at 10 City Broadcasting, we love you guys. You've been with us since day one. You watch us go from a baby hobby league to something pretty big, so it's awesome. And man, it's just a lot of fun. I can't do this alone. It takes everybody.
Yeah, and I know I say it every time on the broadcast, and I say it to you all the time. This is my favorite league to call. You guys are a blast. You guys always put on a great show. You guys are so respectful of each other, and I look forward to Sunday nights and announcing you guys' races. So I'm looking forward to announcing the next two, as now we got the Outlaws coming up, or excuse me, the original Rebels coming up after this. I know I got to get Michael Swink in here to interview him, and Matt, we'll see you again in those races, I'm sure, and hopefully we'll talk to you again.
Yeah, I'll try to make it 2 for 2. Maybe I'll take the first place this time. I
There you go.
appreciate it, buddy.
Take care. And lastly, we got our winner, Michael Swink. Michael, you got Josh in the booth. You got me?
They're loud and clear.
Man, great win tonight. Great run. You and Matt really worked well together. I know Matt gave a big shout out to you, kind of a teammate tonight, making sure you guys stayed up at the front, had killer pit stops to get out. I mean, what else can I say? You guys ran a hell of a race. How did the race go from your side? Obviously, you won it, so it went great.
Oh yeah, outstanding. I cannot believe I won that. It was so awesome running with Matt and those guys, trying to stay up with them. Yeah, the pit stops were great. We just took enough fuel to get to the end, and if we had a green white checker, we had enough covered there. And me and him worked together great. We had a few more teammates working with us, and then there at the end, everybody wrecked. It was me and him, and I told him, I was like, I'm gonna make it interesting, and we didn't wreck each other, and we come to the line clean, and can't believe it. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's all you can hope for, especially being teammates, making sure you guys don't wreck each other. So great win, great run tonight. I know it's not a points win, but getting that first win of the season and moving yourself into the second row for next week's race, it's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, that's great. I really needed that because I qualified terribly. So starting fourth will be great come next week.
Absolutely. Any shout outs or anybody you got to thank tonight, or any shout outs you want to give?
Oh yeah, thank the guys at Pale Horse Racing, new team this year. Starting fresh with them with a win. It's kind of nice. John Smill for painting the truck up for me. Looks awesome. You guys for putting this on in intensity. Matt and all the guys at Original Rebels for putting on this league for us to run in. It's been great. I love it here. It's the best league on the face of the earth.
Absolutely. I second that. Like I always say, I look forward every week to calling this race. And are you going to be in the next duels as well?
No, they start too late for me, so I'm running the Outlaws only this season, so that's where I'll be.
Awesome, man. Well, I hope to continue watching you guys throughout the season, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks, Josh.
Well, there you have it. That's your the Original Rebels Outlaw series tonight with the Duels at Daytona. Stick around. We're gonna shut down this stream, but we're gonna bring up another one and get ready to watch the Original Rebels duel it out here at Daytona. Have 2 more races for you. Another 235 lap duel. So we look forward to seeing that, and stick around. We'll be back with you soon.